Hey everybody, Omar here, the Knife Shark Guy, and I am back with another knife review for you today. But before we head on with the video, I want to give a quick shout out to my friends over here at the Epicurean Edge for all your knife needs. Check these guys out, and I just want to give a quick shout out to Caitlin and Jeff and Moosey, Daniel and Jeffrey, as well as Nick. Those guys have been so helpful in my knife purchases the last couple of times I was down there. Again, anybody that lives in Washington, you want to see some customs, check these guys out. Just want to give a quick shout out though, a quick heads up. When you go down there to see their knives and you happen to want to see a custom, they will help you. There's no problem with that. But you want to pretty much be careful of not manhandling the knives too much. You don't want to flip them out more than maybe once or twice, because you have to remember that those knives are actually just one of a kind. So let's go ahead and get into it. Basically, this is the knife we're going to be reviewing today, the Sebenza 21. And before we get into that, I just want to give you a quick good look at it, and then we'll get right into the actual review and unboxing and everything and all that stuff. So there's a quick look at the knife. The knife comes in this box. This is nothing you guys have seen before. Here's a Chris Reeve box, right? Chris Reeve. And inside the box, there's a folder. And inside the folder, you get all these cool items in there. I did this before, but I'll do it again really quickly. You get a little standard card right there. You also get my favorite thing in the entire box, which is the birth card. This tells you the day that the knife was actually born. So there you have that. Move that out of the way. You also get a registration card. And you can actually do this process online. I actually did mine online. You also get a sticker inside that folder. The folder, once again, looks like this. Real quickly. It also comes with a couple more items. You get a pouch. It says cut once, think twice. So there you have it. And it also comes with some lube and an Allen wrench. Now, quick shout out to my friends over there at the Epicurean Edge. The Allen wrench that came in this package is defective, but you know, what do I care? I don't care, it's just an Allen wrench. I used the Allen wrench that came with the large Sebenza, and that worked just perfectly. So I was right, there was something wrong with the Allen wrench, because it actually didn't even go inside the bolster. But enough of that. So, let's go ahead and get on with the actual knife. Now, there's one other thing I wanted to show you that will help, that actually, you know, it promotes the Epicurean Edge. This is something that I got wrong on the last video, so very quickly I just wanted to give a quick shout out. This is what's called a certificate of authenticity. Whenever you buy a knife from the Epicurean Edge, that's Blade Gallery up at the top. That's the name of their website there. You can check them out, bladegallery.com. But whenever you go to the Epicurean Edge, they give you one of these with every knife that you get. I'm not sure if they do it for the lower end knives, but they definitely do it for customs and quite possibly ZTs and, you know, Benchmates. I think, I don't know. I didn't buy any of their knives, but this is basically something that they do for their customer, a little customer service there for you. Because the card doesn't give you enough information, so they actually go through the trouble of printing out one of these, and it's really kind of nice because you get a shot of the actual knife that you bought. They tell you the name of the knife, who made the knife, and they get some stats on here, which is, why don't we go ahead and do that right now. From looking at the knife, the blade length is 2.94 inches. The cutting length is 2.86 inches. The total length of the knife is 6.88 inches. The blade height is 0.90 inches from at the heel, and near the bolster it's 0.12. At midpoint it's 0.12, and then the blade thickness is 0.5. And the weight of the knife is 2.9 inches. And the blade that they use, or the steel they use, the Chris Reeve steel of choice, is S35VN, because he patented that steel along with CPM Crucible, which is pretty cool, if you can imagine. So, Yeah, he patented that steel because he was looking for a steel that was better than S30VN, which I believe at the time was all that they actually had. And he pushed and pushed and pushed to get S35VN. Finally, he had it out, and now that's really the only steel that he chooses to use. Why he only chooses to use that steel? It's an accessible steel. It's no problem sharpening it. He encourages you to take care and maintain your knife, and having S35VN on there, which is a really good solid steel, you can maintain the knife yourself and sharpen it yourself, take care of the knife with yourself. He wanted your knife to be totally accessible to you. He even makes it really simple to take this knife apart. So anyway, back to the actual knife. When we look at the knife, we're talking about details here. The details that went into this knife, we have to keep in mind that this is the highest production folder made in America today. And people have often wondered, why is this knife so expensive? And it is incredibly expensive because you're paying for not only the condition that the knife is in, but you're also paying for the customer service. One thing about this knife is this knife has a lifetime guarantee. Obviously, over time, when you use the knife, it's going to degrade over time. When that happens, guess what? You could take the knife, ship it back to Chris Reeve. He's going to do what's called the spa treatment, where what happens is you send the knife in and he gives you back the knife in practically brand new condition. He's going to polish it up, make it look like it's completely brand new. Everything on it will be whatever needs attention to it. If the blade needs to be replaced or sharpened or whatever, maybe the bolster's starting to lose its coloration, he's going to take care of all that for you. He will do that for your knife, provided that you did not abuse the knife. He'll do that for you for life. So that is really cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at some size comparisons, starting with one of the coolest things that I love about the Sebenza 21 is I really didn't realize how small it was. I actually thought when I got this knife it was going to come in under maybe, I don't know, like 3.1, 3.2 inches, and actually it's much smaller than that. It's exactly half the size of the big brother Sebenza. So there you go. Let's also take a look at the Spyderco Swish Bowie, which is the actual knife that this knife, or both these knives, constantly being compared to, the Spyderco Swish Bowie. I did that video. You can check it out on my channel if you like later on. And finally, let's go ahead and put it up against the ZT00562 right there. And the last knife for size comparison, let's put it up against a knife that is right around the same size, ZT0900. So as you can see, it's a very small knife. It's slightly larger than the ZT0900, which is, pretty cool. So let's go ahead and go back to the knife itself. This knife is all titanium. It's an absolutely gorgeous knife. I got the box Elder Burl version on this knife. The two inlays now, it's a slightly expensive than all the other inlays that they actually have there. Because the box Elder Burl is obviously very rare wood, so it costs a little extra for that. But it's absolutely gorgeous. The color of the bolster here, or the, sorry, not the bolster, but the thumb stud is gold, as well as the standoff is gold, so it makes a nice contrast, and just everything on it looks fantastic. One of the things that I love about the Chris Reeve knife is the simplicity of design. It's a very quick, linear look on that knife. There's nothing that shoots out in your eyes or, is jagged or anything. It's just absolutely perfect look. Comes with a lanyard, something you don't see on most knives. On a Chris Reeve knife, it's a staple. What I love about this lanyard is that they actually have a special pin just for the lanyard. Usually, people want to have lanyards on their knives. You'll maybe put it on the hole here or something, or maybe actually put it on the actual standoff, which is another thing I like about this knife. It just has one standoff, and it's completely open construction. That is so hot to me. I love that. It's just a completely open construction, nothing else. One of the things that I wasn't crazy about the Spyderco Swish Bowies that have backspacer, I wasn't crazy about it. I don't mind it, but you know, I think I would have been happier if it just had standoffs on it. So when I got the Sebenza 21, I saw that they only had one standoff on. I thought, how cool is that? So that really looks great. Another thing is a pocket clip. Take a look at that. I've never seen a pocket clip where they installed it right on or over the lock bar. Usually on some knives, when you get your knife, they usually have this pocket clip usually at an angle and shooting out across the lock bar at some point, because they don't want you taking the lock bar and pushing it out too far. But in this case, Chris Reeve didn't do that. Why? Because look how thick the titanium is on that lock bar. There's no way for you to push this all the way out. It's just not possible. It's just a thick piece of titanium that he's put on there. So the design, again, looks fantastic. He went that extra mile to give you that thick lock bar. So that you don't have to worry about any over traveling or anything like that. Another thing on this is a true Reeve integral lock. If you take a look at the knife from an inch or half inch from the top to a half inch from the bottom, that is the only thing that is holding the frame. There's nothing else in the frame other than that. I love that look. The Chris Reeve integral lock. It's also on the Spyderco Swish Bowie once again, but it's not anywhere near as all the way to the bottom. They actually have more. It's a little bit more of an inch from the top to the bottom on there. So there you go. So again, the knife is detailed all the way through. I mean, there is just nothing on this knife that is jagged. Everything on here is round and smooth. Take a look at the bolsters on there. Look at all of the hardware on it. The screws are round. Everything on it is round. And the reason he did that is because he wants it when you're holding in your hand. He wants you to guarantee it's comfortable in your hand. Another detail is that the top of the blade is crowned, which is something you don't see, which is very nice when you want to push down on it. The relief cut, which on most knives is on the inside. I was actually surprised to find it on the inside. Usually on high quality knives they have it on the outside to give you a direct force vector so that the knife doesn't close up on you when you're holding it. But guess what, on a Chris Reeve knife it doesn't really make a difference at all because the titanium is so thick. It's really not going to make much of a difference. So basically it has really good jimping on the top and nothing. He didn't really overdo anything on this knife. It's just perfect. It's perfect. There's enough flash on here to give it all the looks and all the beauty that you want in a piece, but at the same time it doesn't take away from any of the functionality. Now this knife comes in a couple of versions. There's the standard bead blasted version of this knife, where they take the inlay and just put it right on top of the sand bead blasted titanium. But in my case, as you can see, mine's kind of shiny, like the blade, as you can see. That's because it looks like there's a layer of shiny titanium infused on top of the sand bead blasted, and I think you can see that right there. So that makes it kind of nice. It's kind of prone to fingerprints, but that's okay. I mean, you're going to be using the knife anyway. What do you care about a few fingerprints on your knife? So same experience as with the large Sebenza. Again, this is a winning knife to me. Chris Reeve doesn't do anything different. He's never done anything different. He always does the same thing over and over and over again, and you're never tired of it. By doing that, once again, I'm going to say Chris Reeve has become his own brand. What he's saying is, again, he's saying that, I'm with these guys, but I'm going to set the tone of what I believe that quality should be, which is why the Spyderco Swish Bowie is so popular, because of the attention to detail. This knife has also got some serious details on it, and again, you can check that video out, but keep this in mind. While this knife has a lot of detail on it, This is the only knife that's a production photo that you've seen that's got detail that even equals what's on the Sebenza 21 as far as attention to detail, and they did it on this one knife, which is very impressive for Spyderco. But guess what, guys? Chris Reeve does that on all of his knives 24 hours a day nonstop. He eats, breathes, and sleeps quality and attention to detail. It is just absolutely ridiculous how smooth this knife is. It doesn't even take it too long to get smooth. I forgot to mention the knife does not run on ball bearings. This knife runs on bronze washers, and yet even though mine is kind of tight still, I'm telling you, it's still very smooth. Just a beautiful, beautiful knife, and I love it. So there you have it, the Chris Reeve Sebenza 21. Once again, this is Omar, the Knife Shark Guy, signing off. If you like what I do, I promise I will work on my videos and get them up to par with everybody else on YouTube, so I do apologize for that. So I'm actually going to work on that right now. But if you like what I do, please please hit subscribe button up at the top. I'm going to have the subscribe, like, and share icon on all my videos. I'm going to be working on that today right after I say goodbye to you guys. A few last thoughts on the Sebenza 21. It's a knife that's kind of hard to come by if you're worried about your finances, and I can understand that because I did the same thing. To be honest with you, I would not have even have gotten it at this point in time if I didn't actually have a store to go to that sells it. Once again, the Epicurean Edge. Get one right there. It's just a different experience when you actually hold one of these in your hand and you feel it and you feel how smooth it is. Completely different deal. So I guess what I'm saying is, instead of me saying you should get one of these, what I'm going to tell you is you are going to get one of these. It's just a matter of time and when you're ready to pull the trigger. And I'm ready to pull the trigger on this video, guys, because it ran a little bit long. So once again, this is Omar, the Knife Shark Guy, hoping that you'll find happiness in your next piece of sharp art. Thanks a lot. I got a lot of work to do on my videos, so I'll talk to you guys later.